for a while, and they like how I talk about visas, and they love that I'm here with a Philippines person. Yeah. Like I had an interview, and like they were just raving, like I watched every one of your videos. I watched this, and they're like, you're talking about everything. We love you. You're so genuine. So they basically gave me that. Here we go, Fluffster. So hold this, Fluffy.
I'll hold this.
Yeah, we're just gonna do a live stream. It's kind of more behind the scenes, so I won't really focus on it. We'll just kind of walk. And
why would I hold this?
They want to see the beach. They want to see this area.
Okay, fine.
And I know that they don't
the title should be be Diane Takeover.
Just show them the cove, Fluffy. Show them this is where Mark. Let's find your show. Yeah. This is where Marcus lives. So he basically lives. Marcus basically lives practically almost exact same. It's the same style type of building. This is Muang Tan, isn't it? Yeah. So they live in a Muang Tan too.
Yeah.
And they live basically the same distance from there to our beach. I don't know if they have an Otis Mart, but that's where we come out of.
Yeah, welcome to Nha Trang. Welcome to Nha Trang. I can't believe it. I thought you'll take over and then I'll Hey guys. Hi Led. This is a takeover from Will Travel's video. I'm holding the live stream right now. So guys, be nice to me. Which is better? Well, you have to watch the upcoming videos. We have some points of views that we would tell you. But it's just our second day here right now, so we can't really tell yet. But we really like the walking part of the of Nha Trang at the city center. So here's the traffic here. Is it comparable to the beach, Nha Trang, to Da Nang?
Get a really big one.
Will has some visitors right now, so this is Marcus and Matt. So they're looking for Will. They said
I've been hiding.
yeah. This is a fluffy takeover. We're here in Nha Trang. Nha Trang, Vietnam. Here's the traffic.
Watch it, stuff. Make sure you keep your eyes open. There's gonna be an apartment. How much developing do you guys see here compared to the construction?
Not as much as we've already kind of built.
Better mood than the buffet. Wow, Heath, thank you. We're here in the other side of the bridge in Nha Trang. So this is more like locals, where it's more local type, and like this is more of the expats area. It's so loud. So you remember that so they have more carts here compared to the central. It's not like central. There's Will. Yeah. So be kind to me. I'll be kind to you guys. Will is walking away. I was surprised. He put me on the spot. He said, Fluffy, you go get the live stream. I thought he was telling me to go take care of our visitors, but it seems like he's the one who wants to chat with the visitors, and she wants, oh, look at this, they have the electronic things. Ari and Reason. What's this?
Marcus is a regular.
Yeah. Dark brother, tell Will to cut back on flans. He will get too big. We're not going to get flans. We're going to get coffee. We're here in a local place right now. So here is the version of Wang Tan here, but they have 6 or 4 towers. Tell Will to cut.
That's where we came in earlier.
Yeah. How is Will so fat given you guys spend a little money on him? Have you heard about balanced diet? Will doesn't have a balanced diet because he can eat every day, same thing, like every week, same thing. So how could you say that's a balanced diet? If you're really particular of your diet, well, you would know what I'm saying. A, A. Oh, where are they? Thanks.
Yeah, you want to sit here or you want to sit there?
What? What?
Sit in your chain seat.
I don't know if it's that or
What?
it's the
Really?
wind. Yeah.
They take it?
I think it's because they move the
Look at
chairs
the
around. Yeah.
There's
criminals.
No,
Prison
it's
seats.
like it's like Will was saying that you were talking about danger or something.
Danger?
Like, no, like you said.
Danger, guys, danger.
No, you were saying something about if a place is, it's like you say that how safe it is in the land. And like what? How is it like to like you feel like this is not that safe or something like that?
I don't know if it's because people are stealing them or if they keep moving them around. So
The other ones here are not.
because they're not chained.
Yeah, so guys, let me fill you guys in. I just popped in right now. So we are about, how long did it take us, Fluffy? About a little over 15 minutes to take a grab. So were you guys seeing us at the mall? We took a grab. No, we took an in-drive. So in-drive works here. We took an in-drive about 15-ish, 17 minutes over the bridge, over here, over the water. And this is a much different neighborhood. I wish I would have had the live stream earlier because this is kind of like a, I don't know what you would call it, like a compound. Basically everything is here. So we asked Marcus, you basically live in this, what, 4 or 5 block radius?
Yeah,
95% of the time.
I'd say 95%. The equivalent of like Antwong's size, that's pretty much where I live in. It's a little bit bigger, but kind of the equivalent. That would be it. The only time we actually leave here is to go to the malls because there's not really any malls in northern Nha Trang. And the other reason is to go drinking for a big night out and blowing tons of money. But besides that, there's no reason to leave. You've got everything that you want here.
Yeah, so I kind of, in my mind, I think of this, imagine a gated community. This is not gated or nothing, but imagine how a gated community kind of has a fenced off and it has all their stuff inside. This is like a gated neighborhood. Like everything is here. So you have shops here, shops here, shops here, shops here, shops here, and then the beach is here. But to be fair, the nearest mall is where?
It'll be just across the bridge, probably I'd say about 7 minutes drive.
7 minutes drive. So the stuff that you guys seen last night is not the same area that we're at now. That's, what would you consider that kind of area? That's the...
So where you were?
Where we were.
That would be the center of Nha Trang. So if you're going to come to Nha Trang, the location that you're probably going to choose is pretty much where Will is. That is the central location. It's rather large, as Will was seen walking around it. It's kind of like its own big city there.
Yeah.
And then you've got northern, which is where we are now, which is across the bridge, and then you've got south, and then you've got west.
And
So
that's
they're
where
kind of different ones.
the Vincom Mall will be there. The
Yeah.
nice beach walk is down there.
Correct.
But that's where the big dough restaurants are.
Yes.
So here there's going to be, so we just had a burger. I think the burger, it came with fries, I think,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So the burger was like 45,000. Fluffy got a drink for like 35,000. We went in, there's a moon milk here. Moon milk, pretty much the same prices. We checked the prices. So there's a moon milk. Is that the only moon milk here?
In this section, yes.
We've seen a moon milk somewhere else too, right?
Near the train
Near the
station.
train station.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there multiple moon milks in all of Nha Trang, or is
Yes.
it-
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're mainly, you're just a bit off the center. You're kind of on the edge, so you probably have a 5-10 minute walk. But most of them are in the center. There's probably about 4 or 5 of them off the top of my head. Yeah.
Yeah, since you guys left, there's 2 brand new ones.
Really? Yeah.
Really?
Two. One just.
Whereabouts?
So there's one now right across the street from Roadhouse,
Yeah.
directly across from Roadhouse,
Okay.
and then up Roadhouse's street where the butcher shop was. There's one block over.
But that's
They're so
it's already close to
close.
each other.
There's 5 in that neighborhood.
So they're doing what they're doing here with the festivals, where they've got 3 of them. There's one there, one there, all within 20 seconds walk.
There's 5 of them.
It's crazy.
There's 5
It's
of them.
like a 7-Eleven in Bangkok.
Yeah, there's 5. I could. So we went. We seen the new one. No, we accidentally stumbled by it. Let's see if you guys would know where it was. What's the closest? Oh, you know where the food? What do they have here? I want to get a juice. Do they have a juice?
Juice? Yeah, they have lemongrass
detox.
peach tea
I need a detox.
and guava juice.
I'm gonna get a watermelon. What are you gonna get, Fluffster?
Huh?
I'm gonna get a watermelon.
Watermelon?
So guys, let us discuss. So this area is going to be much cheaper than the main area that you guys seen. But give us the pros and the cons of that area compared to this. First, let's start with the pros of what you're going to get here in this area over the main area where all the tourists go.
And number one, which everyone is going to value probably the most, is the cost. It is a lot cheaper here. The problem with the center is there is cheap options, but in general, it's going to be more expensive. You have to look around, and it's not as simple as Da Nang, where there's a lot more cheaper options. You really have to look in the center to find a good deal. Here, it's kind of the opposite. It's hard to find something that's overpriced. So cost of living is definitely a lot cheaper here over the center. The second big one would be it's more of a local feel. People live here. It's not as touristy. There are tourists here. This is kind of the tourist center of the north. But most people live here. There are families in the background here everywhere. In the center, there are families, but they're staying for very short term. So that would be another big difference. It's a bit quieter here as well. There's not the loud banging of nightclubs and stuff that you'll hear in the center. There are little clubs, I would say clubs, I'd say more bars around the place, but they never get as busy. So if you like the more bar and quieter lifestyle, then northern Nha Trang is way better. So that would probably be the first things that come to mind. When it comes to the center, what the center does better is, I personally think the center is more beautiful in terms of how things are built. And especially even the beach, I think this beach is beautiful, but that walk along the beach is just incredible in the center. It's beautiful, they look after it. It's a lot more flashy, a lot more lights. So if you like that, that's definitely a thing. If you like bars or clubs, then the center is way better. There's not many clubs, if any. There's one rooftop one which we're going to check out at some point. And if you like women, then definitely you want to go to the center because there are tons of women there. So that would probably be the biggest breakdown, I would say.
Before I ask the second question, why don't you, Marcus is a YouTuber also, and he is basically the big fish out here in Nha Trang. Well, I think you said there's not many out here, so you have to be the big fish.
Yeah.
Go ahead and plug your channel. Let them know what your channel is.
Awesome, thank you so much. So I am Marcus Kelly. If you just type it into YouTube, Marcus Kelly, I will pop up. There'll be 2 videos about Da Nang. Just click on my channel, and that would be me. MARCUSKELLY.
And then, so give them an idea how much price difference, either dollar-wise or percentage-wise, of how much cheaper it is here than where we're staying a month?
Ooh, that's a tough one because it depends on what you want to purchase. So I'd say local prices in terms of local food probably double. I'd say double easily. 2 to 2.5. I don't eat much local food personally, so I'm not the best person to ask. I have an idea of prices, but probably I'd say 2 to 2.5 times. International foods for the center, this would be easily half the price, like easily.
Okay.
Easily. So a burger, 45,000. I'd say on average though, a burger you'd pay around this area about 80,000. That would be what I'd look at, 80 to 90,000 for a really good fat, like big burger. A pizza would range between 80,000 up to 200,000. Like
in this area?
Yes, in this area, really pushing it. Like, but there's lots of buy one, get one frees. That's pretty much it. Steak, as I was saying, there's actually steak here, so you can actually have a look at the prices. So the Canada top blade steak, 128. If you want a New Zealand steak, 228. So this would be easily half the price as the center, easily.
In the center, that steak would probably be how much?
400 to 500.
400 to 500, guys. So yeah. And then no one really mentions it, but so yes, the hotel prices are a great deal down there. If you wanted to live in that area, do you know what apartments even go for down in that area?
Yeah, so this building that I live in, what's it called, the Muang Tan? There is one that will, I think, actually see you from your balcony. That is in the center. That is in the center. It's actually rather cheap. Not many people want to live in that one because expats don't live in the center typically. You could get a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom for, I'm going to overshoot it a bit just so people don't get upset because I haven't checked the prices in a while. I'd say 9 million would be rather comfortable. Now, are you going to be forward facing the beach? Probably not. If you're going to look for a beach facing view, I'd guess probably 13 to 15 million.
So here's kind of the summary. If you were living in the area that we live in, the most expensive tourist area that we were at last night, could someone live there as much as the lifestyle that you live here? Could they live for under $1,000 in that area?
You could, but you need to learn the area.
It would be much more difficult in this area.
Oh, this area is simple. It's this, it's really hard to find a bad deal here. Like, it's really difficult. In the center, you just got to do a lot of walking around in the heat, a lot of sweating.
Yeah. Oh, it's much hotter here.
And looking for places. But trust me, we know a few places. You can get really good deals on international foods there. You just got to know where to look. And if you don't have a bike, it's going to be a bit more annoying because it might be a bit of a walk.
Here we go. Dark Brother, please listen to this answer. So everyone wants to know, how do you do the visa run?
So the visa run, I have done a video on it, but I'll break it down as simple as possible. I'm going to give you 3 options of doing things. One is you take a flight. If budget is not a big option, like you're not worried about budget and you just want a holiday, you take a flight to Kuala Lumpur or Bangkok.
Can you give us an idea of how much they would spend?
So for a week, it'll be about $600, not including food. That's flights going there, flights going back. Can you save money on that? Yes, but I'm giving you a ballpark figure of what to expect.
Got it. And that's probably for 2 people?
For 2 people.
$600 every 90 days. If you want to go do 3 to 5 days while you wait for your visa, round trip, the hotel, not including food.
Not including food.
Maybe if you're budget conscious, maybe you can break into the 500s.
For sure.
Okay, there we go. There's your first option of the flight. What's another option?
So the next option would be, an option that would probably suit your guys' self a lot better would be, if you wanted just to come here for, let's say you've just come from America and you want to land somewhere. Why don't you land in Nha Trang, land here, stay here for 2 months, a month, see what it's like. So you come here, do your thing, and then go to Da Nang, take the train. Or if you take the train and you want to do the big long run, it's about 10 to 12 hours without stopping, I'd suggest the sleeper. Cost can range $30 to $50 depending on the day, everything.
And then do your visa run there?
And then do your visa run there. What I worked out though is if you spend an extra $5 to $7, you can get a one-way ticket, which is going to be an hour flight and saves you that journey. So that's up to you to check out. So if you want to go to Da Nang and live there long term, that's what I'd recommend. Now, What about if you want to live in Nha Trang and you're more budget conscious? What you want to do is you want to do the 23-hour bus ride.
Wow, 23 hours.
23 hours. It's pretty brutal. But the good thing about it is if you're really on a budget, it is cheaper than Lin Visa, which is Da Nang's one. It's $120, everything included. However, the time investment is a big thing. That's something you have to take in consideration if that's what you want to do.
So those are your 3 options. Recap real quick. If money's no problem, I highly recommend the flight. You go do a vacation every 3 months, but you will spend at least $500 for 2 people, at least. Marcus says probably closer to $600. Compare that to if me and Fluffy did the bus visa run from Lynn, we would spend right around $300. So it's about 50% more to do it that way. Your other option is to do the bus visa run, which is cheaper. It's about $40 cheaper than the Lynn visa run, but you do spend 23 hours on a sleeper bus. Now, the other option that Marcus is talking about is for people that aren't really planning on staying in Nha Trang long term. So this is a good idea. You land in Nha Trang, you stay almost to your visa run, and then you go up to Da Nang. You stay there for a month or 3 weeks, you do your visa run there. So that is probably a good idea. The only investment time-wise that you do is the 10-hour train ride, or how we kind of did it. You break the 10-hour train ride up and stop in multiple cities on the way to Da Nang.
Correct. That was definitely a great option because they both offer very similar things, but they're kind of different. I'm talking about Da Nang and Nha Trang. So if you value something, you might value something that I don't value as much. Same with Will, he values some different things to myself. And about yourself, you might value going out to clubs and stuff, right? You might value pretty lights and flashy things, right? It's whatever you like, so that way you get to see both cities and you can make up your mind of what's best for you.
Okay, we'll do a quick, like, if this, then that. So if you are a guy that values drinking, cheap cost of living, eating international food, opposed to Vietnamese food, which city is probably your better option?
Nha Trang.
Nha Trang.
So
now,
for
go
example, 1 liter of beer, the draft beer is 29,000. 29,000 for 1 liter.
So here's what I came to the conclusion. What Marcus says: if you guys like to drink, if you like to eat Western food, and you like to live for a cheap price, and have the beach of northern Nha Trang, you would choose Nha Trang. Now, if you're a budget guy and you enjoy the beach, the calm lifestyle, you don't need the alcohol, you don't need the international foods. Maybe you're more of a Vietnamese type of food, chilled, laid back, budget conscious guy, easy visa run, you would choose.
For the easy visa run in particular, and I will add something to it, if you really value English speaking community, I would definitely put Da Nang. That's 100% would be better.
So it's very easy to decide which city you would go to based on what you're looking for.
What you're looking for. If you want, personally, from living in northern Nha Trang and Da Nang, I would say if you're just arriving in Da Nang, you will spend 30 to 40% more there than you will here. But if you value English in particular and visa runs, you really got to consider if this is worthwhile for you, because then I'd recommend Da Nang.
So Da Nang is going to have much more English.
Way more. And the community, in my opinion, is friendlier.
So you're going to find an English expat community in Da Nang way easier than Nha Trang.
Yeah.
Someone asked a question. What is this area called?
So, I mean, I don't want to mislead people because it's a wide area and it kind of looks different. If you click it on the map, it's weird. What I would say is if you just type in, we call it the Northern Tourist Center. I would just say if you type in OC1B into Google Maps, you'll see it. You'll see where this is. Sorry, one sec, just need an order. What do you want?
So, what are you going to get?
Please get a gin and tonic.
Oh, Fluffy needs a detox because you've been drinking so much alcohol this month.
But I saw the...
Can I get a watermelon juice? Watermelon? What did you want, Fluffy? Detox this one?
Yeah.
I'll show you on there.
And then can I get a detox this one?
So I'm just going to show you the location. You're going to have to tell me if you can see it on the camera. Can I please have an ashtray? Thank you. So this, you're going to have to tell me if you see it. This is where we are.
Okay, so we got that clear picture. And then could you maybe back out and show them where the main area is and how far it is?
The main area is where all the love hearts are in the middle of the screen.
Can you maybe scroll out a little bit? Here we go. I'll do it. Sorry. The main area where we were at.
Yeah, that's...
So that would be down here.
You're a bit lower. You're a bit lower where Narbar is.
So we are here, guys. And then this is where we're staying. Where you guys seen the mall, the beach waterfront. Where we were here, that's where we live. And now we're right up here. And this is the kind of the cove area where we just seen at the beach, which is right here. And his apartment is right here. It's a Muang Tan also. So I give good advice on Muang Tans, it looks like, because Marcus ended up at a Muang Tan.
There's more of them here than in Da Nang. There's 6 of them here, right where we are.
Wow.
But then there's one down there, and there's one even further. So in total, there's 8 of them here.
Okay, so let me say the way that I interpret it, and you let me know if I'm correct on this.
Sure.
So let's say a guy comes in, he wants to live in a chilled place, go eat banh mi's, go eat pho, live the Vietnamese food lifestyle, chilled, lay back, go on the beach, not really into partying, and simpleness of a visa, saving money, he would probably go to Da Nang.
Or Nha Trang, you can do the same thing. You can do the exact same rate.
Without the visa run though.
Without the visa. With the visa, definitely.
And then if you want more of international food, so because Marcus, tell them how often do you eat Vietnamese food?
Maybe once every 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
He'll eat Vietnamese food. So that's why he loves this area so much, because you get cheap international food options, correct?
Yes, and there's a Com Tam place which I do like, but I don't go there all the time.
So he loves this. He values this city, this neighborhood a lot, because he can get burgers, pizza, stuff like
Sushi,
that at good Western,
really.
at good prices.
Yeah.
So that's big. And then he gets this beach and everything. Another thing that he really, really values is that he really can just live in this square radius. You literally, how often do you go 10 minutes outside of this area?
Not very often.
So you live 90% of the time in this 10-minute square.
We go swimming, snorkeling here. That's pretty much it. But then when we do leave the area, it's either for a mall or going to go out and party. That's it. It's pretty much the only reason.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I've been saying, Dark. I think it determines on what person is looking for, and they each, of course, have their pros and have their cons.
Yeah.
In my boat is the visa is the biggest deal breaker for me.
Visa is a pain, there's no doubt. And I'm gonna have to smoke here just because I know it's...
So that's, how long have you been here for? 3 months?
2.
2
months.
So he's been here for 2 months now. So that's a big point to be made of who should live here and who should live in Da Nang. So I guess what would be the perfect city? I guess if you had the Western options here that you have in Da Nang, or you had the Visa bus run option of Lin Visa here in this city. And also, let me make it clear, it is a good amount hotter in this city. Humid, actually.
It is hot.
It's hot.
But is it comparable to Da Nang?
I think this is much more humid than Da Nang.
No, I mean comparable when it comes to the city. Like,
What do you mean?
They're really different. They're really different.
Like on how you see the city.
I don't think, where we live, I don't think there's that in Da Nang. I don't think that area exists in Da Nang. I think this is closer to an An Thuong. That, the area that we live, does not exist. Because that is a more high luxury upscale version of An Thuong that just doesn't exist in An Thuong or Da Nang. That's what Da Nang is missing, is a beach on a mall on the beach, the international giant hotels. That's what Da Nang is missing. So that section of Nha Trang doesn't exist in Da Nang.
And it's good to have an option
Yeah.
because
Do you guys want to see the prices of this place? I can get a menu.
Yeah, definitely.
there's a menu here too, of some of the things.
Oh no, maybe the hotel, cause like I saw the menu and then there's like prices of hotel.
Yeah, but
accommodation.
the last page. Last page has the advertisement of the hotel.
For a single person, the flight to Bangkok visa run is only 100 more than the visa run to Saigon and Phnom Penh. I was quoted a price around 200 for the luxury bus. Yeah, I found, so anytime I look for the bus, like I was looking for the bus to get back to Nguyen Nhân compared to the train.
Jail.
And shockingly, the bus is double the price of Vietnam Railways. I don't know why. The only reason why I was looking at the bus is because they offer better times to get from Nha Trang back to Nguyen Nhân. But that kind of sucks because I don't want to pay double to ride the bus.
This is a Western style restaurant, but they have Vietnamese options. They're a bit
I
expensive.
thought you would get the,
Bonnet. Oh, you guys are killing me. Look at the Bonnet here.
and it's really big plate too.
It's a big one.
65,000.
More expensive
Yes.
here, 'cause this is an international
It's
place. I
huge.
wouldn't probably go.
So it seems like the Vietnamese food is more expensive in this area.
No, in this spot, yes, this is the tourist center of the north. But if you walk
That
there
way.
or there where we were,
So it's weird. It's kind of like this is not really Vietnam, this little area. It's like,
No.
Doesn't feel like
it's Western food is cheaper than Vietnamese food in this little area.
Correct.
This and
yeah. Look,
This is the
Well, no,
tourist
because local
center.
Fluffy in An Thuong, I get Bonnet for 40,000 and we get George Costanza for 30.
For Bonnet, our place,
55.
55 we paid.
not
in
in
that.
Chao Ti Binte, but like if you go to what the place Kim gets local
I don't, in
Vietnamese.
Sun Tra.
No, in
Well, that's right there in the hub.
The
That's
one
next
in-
to Moon Milk. That's the
Yeah.
most expensive area in An Thuong is
Yeah,
next
but
to Moon
that's-
Milk and Bikini Bottom. That's your highest
Yeah.
area there.
And then you got your soups and stuff like these
but
are
look,
pretty cheap.
you can, the Vietnamese are actually more expensive. Like if you get the Bonnet, it's 65, and salads, which are extremely expensive
It's
everywhere, it's
practically
cheaper.
cheaper.
the same, yeah. Same
Then you got
price.
soups.
Because
it's
I went,
nothing.
because when I was in Da Nang, I really wanted some salads, and they were vicious. They were really expensive.
I know we went to George Costanza. Have you found a similar place to something like that?
There is one in the center.
Oh, in the center.
In the center, but it's probably 20 minutes walk.
20 minutes, okay.
Because where you are, you're kind of out of the way. So when we go over there, we don't go stay that far down.
I see.
We hang around the main area. But we come down. The only time we go, there's a really good bar besides Will called Na Bar. So that's where we go.
So let me scroll back. I'm trying to keep up with your conversations, and this one, for a single person, the flight to Bangkok visa run is only 100 more than the visa
Oh,
run
this is the
from
mango.
Saigon. I'm not sure. Dark Brother, clarify that a little more. For a single person, the flight to Bangkok visa run is only 100 more than. So when we leave, so the cheapest flights from Da Nang is Kuala Lumpur. Then Bangkok is number 2 after Kuala Lumpur. So I'm not sure what you mean by the flight visa run, because you can't do the flight visa run in Vietnam, meaning you can't go from Da Nang to Ho Chi Minh and consider that a visa run. So let me read this again. Maybe I'm reading something wrong. For a single person, the flight to Bangkok visa run is only 100 more than the visa run from Saigon. Oh, Saigon. Okay, you're comparing the flight to Bangkok visa run is 100 more for the visa run to Saigon to Phnom Penh. But you're not counting that you have to be out of the country, so you're going to have to pay for the hotel. We have a guy in here, Mitzi, that says you get the visa before, and I keep trying to tell him you have to pay. Marcus, you paid for the one. You waited the 3 days for your visa.
No, week.
A week. So you had
She got
to.
approved. She did hers after me, but mine took a while.
Yeah,
A
so
week.
you had to wait. You have to go pay for the hotel
Yeah.
while you're waiting for the visa run. And then what kind of hammered you is that you had to pay for the plane ticket a day before, which is
Yeah.
going to be a high. If you would have booked it,
It said 80,000. It said, sorry, $80. So I'm stuck in Vietnamese currency. It was $80. It said all over the websites. But the second you got to the checkout screen, it jumped up.
jumped up.
And by the way, if you're wondering, Gin and tonic, 49,000, so slightly less than $2.
Bangkok is on visa exempt, so you save a ton of money going to Bangkok instead of Malaysia. Malaysia, you don't need a visa. Americans don't need visa to Malaysia.
You need to fill up the form. That's the only thing.
Dark brother, Americans don't need visas to go to Malaysia. We get 90-day visa exempt.
You just do a form.
No,
You fill
the
out the
form
form.
is for the passport.
But I'm talking about
Like
we don't need
everyone
visas to Malaysia.
Yeah.
He
But
says
no
Bangkok
visa.
visa is exempt, so you save money on the visa going to Bangkok instead of Malaysia. That's not true. Americans don't need a visa to go to Malaysia. Here's my watermelon juice. What did you get, Fluffy?
Detox.
Detox. Someone in the comments said detox is called water.
He doesn't sound English to me. Definitely
Australian.
Aussie or what's
Australian.
KI?
KI. Smashing coffee here in my 28 square meter. Will's favorite size. Yeah, if you reverse those numbers, instead of 28, make it 82. Now tell them about your apartment. How many bedrooms, what's your price, and how big?
So it's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. If you've seen Will's apartment, basically you can picture the same thing. The only difference is instead of having a dragon bridge as the view,
You have the
we see the beach. So that's our view. The price is 7 million, which what would that be in US dollars? 275 US dollars.
Right under 300 bucks.
Bills not included. So for bills, really trying to use as much electricity as you can, like we do. Air cons, 2 laptops on 24/7 TV. It's probably about 1.5,
Like more to 2.
maybe closer to 2, 1.5 to 2.
So 60 to 70 bucks probably max.
And the energy for people that want to know the energy is 1,800 per
Yes.
kilowatt is how much is the government rate. But if you're coming to Nha Trang, for example, and you go to a service department, it's more expensive than in Da Nang, and it is typically 4,200 rather than 3,800, or what Will was saying, 4,000 that might be happening.
That's what they're doing in Danang now. So would you recommend this place? Where would they, so if they wanted to stay in this area, but only for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and they don't have the time or want to sign a 3-month lease, how would they live here to explore?
If you want to live in the Northern Tourist Center, which is right where we are in one of these towers, there is so many options. You can go on Google and you can literally look. You can just click on these places, there's numbers to call. There's other options as well, which I don't recommend. One starts with A and ends with B.
Ha.
I don't recommend those, but hey, if you want to,
Yeah.
you can. So there's that option. The other option is that a lot of people, people that we know that live here, is there's homestays everywhere around here. You can do monthly contracts,
I
weekly,
see.
and they're dirt cheap.
Come on.
Probably about 3 to 5 minutes walk from here.
So the problem, Dark Brother, is the visa run for me. So even Marcus will say, in my situation, it's different. With my apartment and the visa run, Nha Trang, even this area probably doesn't make sense because I would only end up saving about 3 million living here. And then when you factor in the visa run, either I'm gonna spend a full day on the visa run to save 3 million, which is like $100, or if I use that savings of 3.5 million to do the flight visa run, I don't save any money moving to Nha Trang over my current situation in Da Nang. So you guys, newcomers that are coming to Da Nang, it's probably better for you. But in my situation, it doesn't make sense to me money-wise or the visa-wise. That's what I would say. But for new guys that are either not in Da Nang or don't have a good living situation that's cheap and don't care about the visa run, then Da Nang is an open option for them.
Well, and the thing with Nha Trang is there are apartments everywhere here. There are so many. If you really, even not in this area, if you don't want to live in this area, we've seen places being listed for 4 or 5 million. There's a place down the road actually which we were going to get. Only problem was the bed, the Vietnamese style hard beds. Yeah. That was
There's
the
the
one,
bed situation again.
That was the one, but it was 5 million on a monthly contract, and it was brand new, and it was rather nice.
So, am I right in saying that you would, if you were me, Da Nang would probably be my better situation.
For you, because you've got the best deal in Da Nang.
Yeah.
It is.
With
Unless-
combination of the visa.
It's accommodation. So the big thing is, if you really value international food and don't like Vietnamese as much, come here. If you are struggling with prices, then definitely come here. If you're sick of like accommodation prices, Will and Diane's situation is very unique in my eyes. They've got such a great deal. If you're not on that same level of deal and you're missing that, then you'll easily save 30 to 40%.
I agree with that. They want to know how many Russians are on your floor in your building.
One.
Two.
One,
Well,
two.
there's
two.
two of them that live
Two.
there in the same apartment.
So you said the makeup of this community in this neighborhood is what?
Vietnamese and Russian.
And
So-
Koreans.
And Korean,
The
but they're
number
in the minority.
the number one people
Well, would it be Vietnamese or Russian?
Oh, Vietnamese, I think.
I think
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese would be number one, just. Russian number two. 3 would be Koreans, but that's like really low minority. And 4 would be probably Canadians.
Canadians. So where are Americans and where are Australians on that
I don't
list?
know. But the funniest thing is, in the center, all the people you bump into, typically tourists, they are all from Germany and like Italy, tons of places, like all around the world. And then the other funny thing is, the expats that do live here, they're all Canadians. Oh no, Duck that owns Buffalo Bar, he's American.
He's American.
He's American. So there's a bar in the center. I don't know where he lives. He just opened up a bar 5 weeks ago. He's American.
Okay. And then how far is the Cambodian border is what they're asking. Basically, like we said, the visa run is 23 hours.
I'm not too sure. I don't want to give incorrect information,
Right.
so I can't.
But the
really
visa
say.
run is
It's
23 hours. If you're going to do it by bus.
If you're going to do it, I know that your stop's there for a couple of hours, so it's not 23 hours, or I should say it's not like 11.5 hours. It's less than that. How less, I don't know.
Dark Brother, it wouldn't work for us because remember, me and Fluffy have to do the visa run. They spent $600 on a visa run, so $600 would be astronomical. Because me and Fluffy do visa runs for about $300. So that's an extra $300 every 3 months, and this weather is much more humid. Correct?
It's hot.
It's hot. It's much hotter.
If you like sunshine and heat, you're going to love it here. But if you're like me, which prefers a bit of a cooler climate, I much prefer Da Nang's climate. With the rain, everything, I'll take the rain, I'll take the cold, I'll take all of that.
Are they surrounded by Russians?
Correct.
So this is a much more Russians here than Da Nang.
Oh, 100%, but there are a lot of them going over there. So you might notice soon, if you haven't already, they're moving over there. So just don't think that Da Nang is just going to stay primarily English. It won't for the long term.
I explained that, Dark Brother. So my visa run is 160, right? Flying into Phnom Penh is 250. That's already an extra $100. Then I have to pay for hotels. So it costs me another $150 to $200 per person. So for me and Fluffy, that's going to be $500 to $600. Where our visa runs now are $300. That's an extra $200 to $300. That's what I keep trying to explain. I like the heat as long as I have a beach or pool close by. The beach is right there. And the beach is more of a cove than the open-ended beach that we have in
There's
Da Nang.
no waves. It's glass. It's like picture perfect. You look down, you can see the bottom, you can see the shells, everything. So if you like snorkeling, beautiful. If you like swimming, nice. If you like surfing or anything, definitely not the place, not northern Nha Trang. The center's better. Da Nang is definitely better in general.
Mitzi said I like saunas, but not when I step out in front of out of the front door.
Yeah, that's hard.
What amenities do you have in your apartment? Do you have a pool? Do you have a gym?
No, there's none of that. There's a gym right here though, in one of these towers.
I've never really noticed Nha Trang to have pools or gyms.
I heard that there is one in the other one down there, but I don't know. But I know one of these towers has a big gym.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Dark Brother, I would save $4 million on the rent, but that $4 million would go to the visa run, if not more. So in the end, I end up breaking even or slightly paying more here. So, and that's the difference. And Marcus even thinks the YouTube channel situation would probably not be as good here in Nha Trang.
I don't think, not until people realize. A lot of people I'm sure some of you watching have never heard of Northern Nha Trang. That's what it is. It's like, and I'm sure Will, would you choose to, if you had to choose to live in Northern Nha Trang or the center, where would you choose?
Long term here. If I was coming on a vacation,
The center.
I would probably be in the center for 3 or 4 days. If I was going to live long term, it would be closer somewhere in this area.
So until people start realizing that there is other options that might be more suitable for them, the views are always going to be low. It's going to take time for people to work out. Because this was basically a hidden gem. I've never seen anyone talk about this place that's an English speaker, ever. It's just never been spoken about. The Russians all know about it. And what I've found through living in multiple countries with Russians is the Russians always find the best deals. If you've got 2 restaurants side by side and all the Russians are sitting in one, there's a reason for that. Go to that one, it's cheaper.
I see.
So just follow them and you will find the best deal.
How many of the locals are able to speak English?
Not much. It's kind of similar to Da Nang. I'd actually say though in general it's probably a bit worse than Da Nang.
Okay.
All the Russians can talk English.
But the
Right?
Russians
All
here can
talk
speak English.
All.
Yeah, I was just approached by a Russian while I was shooting a video, and he spoke to me in Russian, and I looked at him, I was like, hey, only English. And then he wanted me to come into his gym. But I don't know if they just assume everyone speaks Russian,
Right.
or if he thought that I was Russian.
Just
But I don't know.
because there's so many Russians, they
It's a
think
Russian
That's what I
community.
think. I think they think, hey, if you're here, you must be Russian.
Did you see Terrence's question? How many of the locals are able to speak?
Fluffy, I just asked him
I
that.
did not hear.
That's Fluffy's move. After I'll be finishing the last sentence, and she'll say,
did not
look at
hear.
this question. And I'll go, what is it, Fluffy? That's what we just said. That's why we were answering about the Russian that was speaking to me in Russian.
Because he said locals.
That's what I said. He said little less than
It's
Danang.
similar, but I'd say less than Da Nang. It's the same thing.
The southern part of Nha Trang has great fresh seafood for some reason. That's where Philip lives, right?
He's on the edge of southern. I'd call it southern, but he could argue that it's the center. It's close.
Okay, I see. So if you guys were gonna come to this area, you would live cheaper. But if they are glamour guys that wants to meet the women, wants the mall that's near the beach, the nice beach, all the fancy stuff, we kind of consider it almost the Bangkok of Vietnam.
I'd say that's pretty accurate.
If they want that, they're gonna go to the more expensive area. They wouldn't be in this area. They would
Well,
go
you could.
down
You
that
could
way.
just get a taxi that costs 40,000.
But if they were here on a vacation for 7, 8, 9 days.
If you really want to have fun and just go at it and not care too much about budget, definitely go to the center.
Yeah.
Don't come here.
Yep, I would say that too.
You can come here and look at it, but I wouldn't recommend staying here.
And then I even asked, so here's what I think. I think the hotels here are shockingly very good deals.
I know, it's surprising. I was telling Will before I was going to make a video, Da Nang versus Nha Trang on hotels. And then 3 or 4 months ago, we had booked, and I've done a video on it, like $5, $6 hotels. I started doing the script for the video, and I checked the prices, and they've all just launched up now. I thought it used to be more when we arrived. It was
Yeah.
more expensive here, the hotels. Now Da Nang's way more. So
Yeah.
now the value is better here. It's funny, it's just such a short period of time, 2 months. And
Because-
the prices are completely reversed.
Because you mentioned I always try to figure out some kind of option. So I said, okay, what if you wanted to come here for 2 weeks? You can rent a place maybe in this area, but you said basically it's probably the same or slightly more for a short-term place in this neighborhood than it is to stay at the Regal, like where we're at, with a
Correct.
4-star hotel with the free buffet.
But the difference is that is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, like sea.
Yeah,
view
you're gonna
place.
get a
You're gonna
larger
get a home,
space.
right?
Right.
That is a hotel room.
But I don't
So
think there's gonna be 4-star hotels in this area.
there are.
Are they
There's-
gonna be that price?
I think it'll be way more. The Senior Bay,
Okay.
just up here, one of my subscribers is coming here and he's living there. He's going to be living there. Senior Bay, it's a very expensive high-end hotel just down there.
Why are people always worried about speaking English when they travel? I think it's just convenience and being able to order things and just probably comfort and something which you know. I would probably say that. The best thing about Nha Trang over Da Nang is that you are not in Typhoon Alley every storm season. We've been in Da Nang. We've never experienced that. We've been there for 3 different years, not 3 years total. but 23, 24, and 25 never experienced that. But here you're gonna deal with the non-stop heat.
Yeah.
So you're trading possible typhoons that we've never experienced for guaranteed humidity.
Yeah.
You said you checked the weather and they were pretty different when you checked Da Nang and
It was
checked
26 and 32. So this is Celsius, 32 degrees Celsius. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, and 26 in Da Nang. Now they're a bit more similar. I think it's 28 to 32.
30.
At the moment. Yeah,
What's
so-
crime like here?
I've never seen crime here, but I have heard that on this beach, this is normal 101. I never bring valuables on the beach when I'm swimming. But I have heard, I've seen reviews on this place that a couple of years ago there was pickpocketers here taking people's stuff on the beach. I don't know if that's still the case. I've never seen crime. Does it exist? I'm sure it does. There was one of the biggest busts of ketamine here, I think it was in the whole of Vietnam. And it just happened probably about 30 minutes away from here, 20, 30 minutes. And it was fascinating because they only had 2 months to get this whole system happening. And they had over 1.4 tons of it
I see.
created in 2 months. So is there crime? Yes.
I see.
Do I see it? No.
Just curious, probably not sure, but do you feel it's the locals? Do you feel it's Russians? Who do you feel it is?
I would say it's the locals, the people which aren't as fortunate as some others. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what to expect in November, December. November, when I flew into Vietnam, they had a typhoon warning. Not to fly. Well, we lived in we've been in Da Nang for 13 months. No, I think Hanoi got that typhoon, wasn't it, Fluffy? It was Hanoi, but not Da Nang. The locals didn't even know about the Quetta factory. So, if you guys got any last questions, Marcus is here. We're gonna probably wrap this up in just a minute. This is gonna be one of the shorter live streams for us, but we will probably do a live stream later on, probably back in the other area. I shot a lot of YouTube content, so I was only gonna try to like pop a little bit into another video, but I might actually make this YouTube video that you guys have not seen into a full video. We walked around the neighborhood, we got some stuff. So let's just recap. Let's just kind of say it one more time. If you guys want to ask a question, pop it in. So give me the ideal person, character-wise, interest-wise, budget-wise, that would choose your area over Da Nang.
So if you have a family, I would definitely say it's much more walkable here. This is a very walkable area, even in the center. It is very walkable. So you don't have to worry as much about that. So you'd have a family. If not, if you value cost of living and you prefer international options for a better price, that would be the ideal situation. If you like to go out, if you like to have the option of having, as we say, kind of like a Vietnamese Bangkok on your doorstep, which you can go and see at whatever point you want, it's a 45, I think you spent 46K, it's about 40,000 to the dead center to get there, which is less than $2. Now,
big thumbs up, Chris. Sorry to cut you off. Chris Person, he said, "What's up, Marcus? Good to see you again."
Okay.
So I believe he knows you, and thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. Sorry to cut you off.
if you are okay with people talking another language around you and working a bit harder to meet people, then this is a good spot. For me personally, I've lived over 3 years in countries which don't speak English, so it doesn't bother me. I'm fine with it. I actually kind of like it because it gets tiring. So it's good. That would probably be the ideal person, and especially if you want to look for women, this is better than Da Nang, I would say 100%.
I think so, probably too. I think it's just more options.
There's more options, and it's pretd
Now tell us who would be the ideal person not to choose Nha Trang over Da Nang.
If you really, if I was to say, if you can't sit in a bus for 23 hours and you don't have the funds, you're really budget conscious, then you're knocked out straight away. Don't come here. If you have the funds, then it's fine, but if you don't, that's it. If you value, some leaf scared me. If you value English community and just going out to a place like this, having a drink and talking to the table next to you and getting along perfectly, then this is probably not their place. Can it happen? Sure, but it's not as good. The other thing would be is, what would the next?
Maybe heat.
Heat's definitely, if you like it not as hot. And if you like surfing, I think if you like surfing a lot, that would definitely be, Da Nang would be better. That would be pretty much the things. There's not really much more that comes to my mind besides that, because I prefer pretty much everything. And I think most people, it's just more options here. So visa, if you don't like the visa situation, if you don't like loudness, and I'm talking about the center, if you don't like loudness, and yeah, it's pretty much, and budget comes in, but it's cheap here. Yeah.
Okay, and the last little quick point I'll say, Marcus would tell you guys, make sure you bring your nicer clothes if you're coming to Nha Trang, because you can't wear that relaxed stuff that you wear in Da Nang.
You can, look at me. I'm wearing.
Well, we probably
clothes.
stick out.
When you go to center.
We
Oh,
probably
I
stick
stand
out.
Yeah, I stand out. Yeah, I put on my nice shorts and a nicer shirt when I go to the center because I feel highly uncomfortable sometimes.
Kim is asking something.
We're gonna wrap it up. We'll just try to hit your last quick questions. Is Nha Trang very different from Da Nang? I would say yes, because of two major factors. Two, one, there's a whole different part of Nha Trang down there. Two, this is a separate area. And then kind of the other thing, the lack of the visa run being legit and the weather. So that's kind of the way that I would summarize it. You're only a day trip from Nha Trang to Saigon on a night trip. Yeah, but remember, we're talking about people that don't like doing those long visa runs. So even, how far is here from on a train to Ho Chi Minh? I think 12 hours, or is it less? Okay, maybe it's less. What is the rent for 2-bedroom apartment? We mentioned that was 7 million.
7 million is what we're paying for.
And I think you can get a little less. You said
you can get a little less or a little more. Just depends on what you want. If I'm going to be safe, I will say 8 million.
So we're gonna say basically $300 to probably $400. There's probably a lot of good options in that, in this part of Nha Trang, not in the center. Yeah. And Wi-Fi on the balcony. Where are you right now? We are in Nha Trang, Vietnam. So once again, we appreciate it. Check out Marcus's channel. Please plug it one more time, Marcus.
Yes, please do. So it's Marcus Kelly. So just my name, MarcusKelly. Just chuck that into the YouTube search bar. You'll see my apartment videos in Da Nang, and then just click on my channel.
Perfect. Dark Brother, you can't break the visa run up in 2 days though. The visa run is sponsored, so you pay an organization to get on the bus. So it's not like you could tell the bus, hey, I'm gonna go stay at a hotel, pick me back up tomorrow. The bus is a sleeper bus. You get on it, and I think you mentioned you stay on for about 7 hours. They let you stretch your legs.
So, yeah.
So it's not a breakup. The only other the thing that you would be talking about would be doing your visa run on your own, which is much more riskier, and no one recommends doing it that way. You go through a sponsored visa organization. So everyone said thank you, Marcus. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chris Person. I think it was Chris Pearson. I think I pronounced that wrong the first time. So once again, we're gonna hang out here. We shot a video, so if you guys want to see Marcus's neighborhood, you'll see it better on the YouTube video. I'm gonna drink my watermelon juice. Fluffy said she's gonna detox. Once again, thanks to you guys. And this is his neighborhood.
I'm detoxing for Robbie.
So there we go. There's the beach. We'll see you guys later on another live stream. So once again, happy travels.